Hello friends, welcome today. I want to introduce the game Wukong. Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
The game Black Myth, Wukong, the first serious work of the game science studio, and the most important Chinese work in recent years, was released with great expectations and hype and broke many records from the beginning. However, has this role-playing action product been able to fully meet expectations or not? In response to this question, in this article, we will examine this game and its various aspects. It should be said that since the early days of the game's introduction, two things about it caused a lot of buzz in different gaming communities around the world. The first case was its wonderful graphics, which looked eye-catching, and the second and more important case was the gameplay, which became a trend in the game industry due to its similarity to the works of Dark Souls. Many, seeing the gameplay trailers, immediately put it on their most awaited games list and counted down the minutes to experience it. In the meantime, the advertisements around the game were not unaffected. As the most serious work of China in recent years, a lot of advertising was done around the game, which made its name well known. As you probably know, this game is inspired by a novel called Journey to the West, whose main character is Sun Wukong, or the Monkey King. This epic is deeply rooted in Chinese mythology and folklore, and is inspired by the ancient stories and legends of this country, and is something like the Shahnameh for the Chinese. So it makes sense that this game would become so popular as the most important video game adaptation of this novel. In fact, it is like making a game based on the stories of Shahnameh and expecting that it will not gain popularity in our country. On the other hand, China is a huge country whose large population can have a big impact on this issue, and as we have seen, the Chinese managed to break the record for the most simultaneous Steam players for a single-player game. Next, another monkey named Destined One is tasked to find Wukong's relics, or his relics throughout the game world, and bring him back to life. Each of these relics is located in a part of the game world that has its own special atmosphere and interesting story. The story of the game has an interesting narrative, and like the works of FromSoftware, you don't need to talk to the character and read the item descriptions to understand it. But this interesting story is apparently written based on your basic understanding of the story of the Journey to the West. In fact, if you want to enjoy the story of the game, it is better that you have studied the whole story of Journey to the West. Otherwise, you will not enjoy the story enough. The narrative of each chapter of the game is different with its attractive characters, but all of them are woven into a general story. At the beginning of the article, we asked the question whether Black Myth, Wukong could fully meet the expectations or not. The answer to this question is largely yes. This game tells a good story, has fun fights, and its visual effects and diverse environments will caress your eyes. Of course, the game is not without flaws, and some things such as poor stage design and numerous technical problems may spoil your experience. But since the game is the first serious work of Game Science Studio, these flaws can be ignored to some extent, and finally the quality, the top of the game, makes us even more excited for the future works of the developer studio.